Hello and welcome into J.J. Isaacson Field here at Seymour Smith Park here in Omaha, Nebraska. Big game up here at 5 p.m. Royal Blue Dogs taking on the Cropdusters here in the Corn Belt League. For the Cropdusters, they just picked up another loss yesterday, a big one, 10-2 against the Filth Ballers. Jaden, what do you see in that loss yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, both these teams really struggling out of the gate. Both these teams 1-3, and I think the biggest thing has been pitching. Can they get consistent pitching between these two groups? For the Blue Dogs, they've struggled to be able to keep it in close games. Yesterday, like you mentioned, up against the Red Raiders, a 4-2 loss. A big offensive start for both teams. 6 runs scored between the two, or excuse me, 5 runs scored between the two teams in the first 2 innings alone. The bullpens really helped them out in the back end, but an insurance run at the top of the 7th and nothing going for the Red Raiders in the bottom of the 7th for them, allowed the Royal Blue Dogs to get their first win of the season. It's been an odd first week. A lot of rainouts, a lot of back and forth, really trying to get any guys some experience as much as they can. I think as we head into this second week, this is the time to where chemistry starts to mold. You start seeing the lineup a little bit more consistent. I think you see a lot more teams a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and just on that note, the Royal Blue Dogs did pick up their first win. They lost 3 in a row to start the year. They lost to the Rail Riders, Filth Ballers, and then the Black Sox. And as you mentioned, the weather playing a huge part into this Black Sox season. We'll see them later tonight. They're only 1-1, but they've lost 2 games due to rainouts that they're going to have to complete later on in the season. So we'll see some schedule changes here later on. A few makeup days that were included in the schedule to start with will be utilized for those rainouts. But it'll be a good one tonight here at Seymour Smith Park. Expecting a great game between the Royal Blue Dogs and Cropdusters. Is really a must-win game here for momentum for both of these teams.
Yeah, again, going into that second week, you're seeing teams get more into their set, who's going to be more comfortable. And we're going to see 2 guys we've already seen once here this season, really the 2 most consistent guys for these 2 pitching staffs. A.J. Ventry is going to start it off for the Cropdusters. He started off his season 4 innings pitched in his first outing, only 1 earned run, 2 runs total allowed, 6 strikeouts. It's a big piece for him. However, on the other end, Evan Heeb, an incredible start to his season in his opening debut. He hopes to continue that here today.
Yeah, and on that note, A.J. Ventry, only 2 walks in that 4-inning show out against in his last pitching appearance, I should say. And so the free base is going to be huge for him today. He can't give up too many free bases, especially early on in this game. That'll be a loss of confidence for that Blue Dogs team, so it'll be good to see him on the mound today.
Yeah, that's been the biggest thing for both of these 2 pitchers. Talking to them before the game, first pitch strike is going to be huge. When you're able to have that, that allows you to have such a great, more or less likelihood for you to be able to get out of an inning, getting out quickly, right? So far for these 2 guys, each time they get a first pitch strike, they end up getting 70% of the time they end up getting outs after that first pitch strike for both of these guys. So again, when you can find the zone early, make sure you can attack. You can allow your defense to make plays if you need to, but you set the count early and you can use more of the arsenal that you have.
Number 34, Brennan Redding. Batting 10th, the extra hitter.
Keep going on here about the Royal Blue Dogs season. They struggle in those first 2 games getting early runs. They only scored 3 runs in their first 2 games. What do you think is going to be the key here today for scoring runs, especially against a very good pitcher here for the Cropdusters?
I think a really big thing up against Heeb is making sure you're going through long counts. Make sure you see everything that he has. He works a 4-pitch mix, and the odd thing, although also working a curveball and a cutter mix, he likes to go more the changeup when he gets that put-away pitch. So again, that kind of that change between the fastball and the changeup is such a slight difference where the changeup just bottoms out at the end when he works that little spin on the outside front, just to be able to get it down into his arm side. That just such the slight difference that it gets hitters off so much. So if you're these hitters for these Royal Blue Dogs, you need to make sure you get through these pitching staffs longer and longer, and make sure you get longer at bats to give yourself more opportunities to find that maybe one mistake that your pitching staff is going to give up.
And another thing to look at today, the weather. It's hot outside here in Omaha. Temperature only says about 88 degrees, but we're looking at feels like around upper 90s, somewhere in the 95 range. So it'll be a huge thing to look at today, the fatigue for both of these teams.
Yeah, it is summer baseball in Omaha, Nebraska, to say the least. I mean, you're talking high 80s to low 90s. Humidity is the biggest thing that's being a factor for a lot of the guys. So, again, fatigue could be a factor for both of these teams. How well they can adjust here today and make sure they get through this long game is going to be huge, not just for today, but for the rest of this really long week for these 2 teams.
And talking about a long week, we mentioned it before, whether it's on the podcast, whether it's in previous games, versatility being huge for both these teams today. They've got a lot of players that can play in different positions. What are you seeing from a lot of these players here today about how can they play on different parts of the diamond and how their game translates to each part.
Yeah, again, I really think I like the way both these coaching staffs are moving guys around and seeing how they can put each other in one place or another. That's really helped them, possibly get longer and keep guys healthy for the rest of the season.
We're going to send it down here to the PA announcer for the national anthem. We'll take a quick break here on the Corn Belt Network. Ready for action here at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park. First pitch high, popped up into the third base line. And it's caught by the left fielder there, Kozel, for the Cropdusters. So a quick first out here for the pitcher for the Cropdusters. That's Ventry on the mound today.
The catcher from Arizona Christian
Coming up now for the Blue Dogs is going to be Eastham.
Yeah, I like the way AJ Ventry started this one off. Again, the fast curve change mix. See a lot of that curveball to put away, but again, being able to find the zone early is going to be so important for him to start out this game.
Pitch is in there for the strike against Eastham.
I really like the way Ventry's starting this one off. Two straight strikes to start off this AB. And again, he's working quickly and finding that rhythm early. It's so huge for a lot of different pitchers. When you can find your rhythm, you get a lot of hitters off balance.
This one chopped towards the shortstop. Good play there. The throw is a little late, so Eastham will reach base. He's at first on an infield hit. Just a tough play there for Willem at shortstop. And Ringel unable to complete the stretch, so the Blue Dogs have an early base runner.
Yeah, Braxton Wilhelm, a hard play. I mean, he's working across the opposite way, moving his momentum. A really good throw onto first, just barely not in time. And that's how really the speed matters so much at the top of some of these orders.
That'll bring up Luke Killinger, the outfielder from Arizona Christian University.
Your attention, please. Now running at first base from Creighton University, number 39, Devin Jones.
And there is a pinch runner in there for Eastham. It's Devin Jones, who just finished up his senior year at Millard West. He'll be attending Creighton University in the fall. And another strike there for Ventry. He's been having a great game locating these pitches early on.
Yeah, I really like the way, again, we talked about the pace that we see from Ventry so far. He's felt really comfortable. And even with a runner on that does have a lot of speed and agility in Devin Jones at first, I like how Ventry's really still been able to be comfortable and still attacking in the zone.
There's that pickoff throw to Jones, but back in times is Jones.
Again, we've seen Jones get off a little bit too much, especially earlier this past week on Monday. Got picked off on a strike him out, throw him out. But again, he's got a guy that's very aggressive. See if he can take second here.
Instead, the pitch is low and inside. It'll be 1-1. That's the first ball that Ventry has thrown today.
It's a really good job right behind home plate by Thatcher Potee. I mean, we've seen him on the pitcher's mound more often than not so far this season. He's been a very consistent guy to the bullpen for the Cropdusters here, but a really good job being able to keep his body in front of that ball.
Another pickoff throw, but once again making it back in time there is Devin Jones. And you have to respect the speed at first base, but also you can't let it affect you too much as you get into these pitches. It's really got to keep your mind focused on the batter in front of you.
Yeah, biggest thing for Ventry, can he mix up his looks?
Instead, it's chopped to first base. The play is made at first, but advancing to second is Devin Jones. So with 2 outs, the Blue Dogs have a runner in scoring position. It's Devin Jones at second base.
Yeah, really good job right there by Barrett Ringel, able to keep it in front of him. Especially with as much speed as you have out there, really at first, head to second, and Devin Jones feel more comfortable just getting the out and stepping on first. You see how this really lefty-heavy middle of the lineup can work here for the Royal Blue Dogs. I really like the way Guido, is the coach for the Royal Blue Dogs, been switching up this lineup to see who can be most comfortable in that middle of the order spot, especially here at the 4-hole.
Pitch there from Ventry just outside.
And we see a little bit of that curveball right there in the early part of the at-bat. See here how Toby Turnquist can do, trying to pull something to the outfield. Devin Jones' speed out there at second. Really, any ball that drops in the outfield is going to be a run.
Big swing there from Turnquist. But he misses high on it, so it'll be 1-1 coming up here. And like you said, Devin Jones, any hit past the infield is going to be a run there, as Jones will score from second with ease, really. So for Turnquist, it's just putting the ball in play past the infielders, and he's got a chance at an early lead here for the Blue Dogs. This one is chopped towards the first base side again, and it's fumbled there by the first baseman for the Cropdusters. And in comes Jones. The play at the plate. He is out What a play that is from the right fielder for the Cropdusters. Horner recovering from the error made by the third baseman for the Royal Blue Dogs. No runs on 1 hit. Coming up for the Cropdusters, they've got top of the order Isaac Copeland, Kozel, and Suarez coming up here on the Corn Belt Network. We'll have action for you from J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park right after the break. Back here for the bottom of the first, Cropdusters. Coming up is Caleb Copeland, right-handed outfielder here. Bethany College, who's going to be a junior this year from Kansas. Feeling right at home here in the Midwest in Omaha. We'll see how he does here against the pitcher for the Royal Blue Dogs. It's going to be Hebe on the mound here early on.
Yeah, we'll see how Copeland can do here. 1 for 4 on this season with a single. They have a strikeout and a walk in his last 2 appearances. We saw him mainly in the middle of the lineup for this group the last time we saw the Cropdusters earlier on in this week. Maybe seeing how this coaching staff wants to see him at the top of the order. He's a really consistent right-handed batter.
This one chopped towards the second baseman, but a routine play there for Ikarashi, getting the first out of the inning. And just like the top of the first, a quick first out for the pitcher. Great way to set confidence, great way to be efficient with your outs here early on.
And that's a big thing from Evan Hebe. I mean, he's been really consistent throughout his career so far, and especially here this summer in his 1 appearance earlier on in this season. He had 4 innings pitched, had 9 strikeouts, did have 1 earned run after 3 hits, but Hebe has just been so consistent as a lefty, and that really 4, possibly 5 pitch mix that we see from him. Again, like you see right there, works the curveball, likes to work it early and often, the start of at-bats. Again, he has so much to be able to work with and so much he can be confident with in his arsenal.
This one from Kozel is going to go out of play here. Thatcher Kozel, the outfielder from South Dakota State, going to be a senior this upcoming fall. One of the older guys on this team. What do you think his experience, especially playing at such a high level in college, brings to this game in the Corn Belt League?
Yeah, I mean, both him and his brother being able to be a part of this team this season, I think that really brings the really home atmosphere here for him. I mean, you can hang out with your brother, being able to play baseball over the summer, and there's really not much more to complain about that. So, I mean, you add on to that, plus the fact that he's had so much experience at the college level that, you know, he's going to see more plate appearances. He's seen more different types of pitchers. That gives you more experience to what to work with when you see a guy like Hebe or anybody else in this Royal Blue Dogs pitching staff.
That pitch is outside. It'll be 1-2 coming up here for Kozel. This one roped towards first base side. It's going to hit the base. It'll be called fair. And making it to first base is Thatcher Kozel.
Yeah, an odd single right there. When you see Toby Turnquist trying to retrieve that down the right field line, just hits off the bag and nothing you can do there. Turnquist, really his entire momentum was towards the right field line, had to fall. But now something possibly going here in this first inning here for the Cropdusters. And again, we see how much of a factor the base running aspect of it can be, and we'll see how much confidence this coaching staff has Thatcher Kozel at first base.
Up to bat is Javon Suarez. He goes to Heston College. As a senior in high school, he did a .348 batting average, so he can hit very effectively as the first pitch is thrown towards first base. That one will hit him. So the runner will advance to second. Kozel is going to be at second in scoring position. Suarez will take first base here, bringing up number 22 for the Cropdusters, Easton Barnes from Highland Community College.
Yeah, that's really odd to see right there from Evan Heeb. You don't really see him really reach too far out of the zone, but I think that one just barely slipped out of his hand and got away from him. And now here in somewhat of a jam here, trying to get out of it here early. Let's see how Heeb can adjust.
We talk a lot about players coming from out of state, but Barnes here, right from Ralston, he's playing it in his backyard almost. What do you think that has? What do you think that feeling is like, playing right in front of your home crowd?
I mean, that's a big thing for a lot of the guys that live in really the Omaha, Nebraska area. It's a closer feel, not too much travel that you have to do, not too much really adjustment that you have to do, at least in living quarters. You don't get to live with a host family or anything like that. It's a lot easier to just stay at home, have a nice summer, and then play baseball every night.
That pitch catching the low corner, so it'll be 1-1 coming up here for Barnes.
Another off-speed mix right there from he, but hasn't quite been able to find the zone as consistently. I think especially even just down here 2-1. You may see another fastball in the outer half. I think if you're Barnes, you're going to be waiting for that.
Good strike in there from Heeb.
That's a beautiful catch-me-up pitch right there, or get-me-up pitch, excuse me, for Evan Heeb. I mean, you're down 2-1, you're not being able to find the zone as consistently with your off-speed, and being able to still paint that outer half of the fastballs really good, especially to start out here in this one when he's somewhat struggling.
Runner goes. Throw is there in time, and the tag is made. So that will be the end of the first inning on one hit. No runs for the Cropdusters. Coming up here for the Royal Blue Dogs, we've got Bach, Roland, and Richter for the top of the second inning. This is baseball on the Corn Belt Network. Back here at the top of the second inning, we've got the designated hitter, Braden Bach, up for the Royal Blue Dogs. And for Ventry, an efficient but kind of scary first inning, got bailed out by a great throw by his right fielder, Horner, to catch Devin Jones at the plate. So we'll see what he can do here at the top of the second. up against a pretty good hitter in Braden Bach. Played in 3 games. He's got 1 hit on 6 at-bats. No runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout on the year. That pitch just low, so it'll be 1-1 here.
Yeah, not a mix right there from Ventry to go to that fastball in the outer half, then try to drop that really 12-6 movement on that curveball. See what he goes to here. And again, another curveball right there. Being able to find that outer half is so important for a guy like Ventry. If you have that 3-pitch mix and you know your most confident put away is going to be that curve, being able to use it early in counts is very important for a guy that's trying to go longer in his opportunities at the college level. I mean, that's so big. I mean, you see so many college guys that have those 2 to 3 pitch mixes. You're even seeing guys that have consistent 4 to 5 pitch mixes. So, I mean, if you're able to be confident in your backup pitch like that right there, beautiful one right there, it's just so big for your coaches to be a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable with putting you in big spots.
Down goes Braden Bach swinging. First strikeout of the day for Ventry comes at the top of the 2nd inning. Bringing up Tommy Rowland here, number 45. He's going to be playing in left field today, the left-handed hitter. The first pitch is high for a ball.
Yeah, we'll see how Rowland can do here. Still looking for his first hit of the season, 0 for 3 so far. I think that's the biggest thing, especially even a week in. A lot of different guys getting a lot of different opportunities, so you can't quite be too discouraged by struggling early. We see with these guys here with the Royal Blue Dogs, saw that a lot with the haymakers. I mean, really in a week time span, you're using 10 to 15 of your guys in your roster, just trying to get them more at-bats and more possibilities to get better.
Great pitch in there from Ventry, catching the low corner. Tommy Rowland plays at Southeast Community College along with the 3rd baseman for the Blue Dogs, Will Richter. So kind of like a good bond there. It's always nice to have someone on the same team that you play college ball with here in summer ball. How do you think that affects his mentality going into games?
I mean, 9 different guys from Southeast Community College. That's the most of any college here representing the Corn Belt League, and that's a big thing. I mean, we saw that with the Cropdusters too. You're seeing 3 different guys from West Virginia Wesleyan that are on that team. Not usually a group knowing, okay, what's a league here in Omaha, Nebraska? What's that going to give me? I mean, being able to have that connection with a lot of different guys makes it so much easier. That changing process, from a really different area in West Virginia than here in Omaha, Nebraska. So, I mean, being able to know a lot of those guys and working with those guys, it makes it so much easier to play and have a lot of fun.
2-2 pitch is high. It'll bring up a full count here for Rowland. And like you mentioned on the season, he's not had a hit this year, but he has drawn a walk along with 2 strikeouts. So rough start here for Rowland. He's trying to get things going here in the 2nd week of play.
Yeah, the offense has really struggled so far.
And just on cue, he chops it up towards shortstop. And the play is made there by the shortstop, Willem. We saw him fumble with one early on in the 1st inning, but good to get his confidence back and make that play.
Yeah, Willem, again, it was a really hard play in that 1st inning. I mean, he had to range to really his backside, try to get the throw onto first, but you saw Eastham in that 1st inning really just beat that out. And that's kind of an odd thing to see from a catcher, and Ryan Eastham had that much speed at the top of the order. That really, is really important for a guy like the catcher that you don't always see that from in a lot of these different games.
First pitch swung on there by Richter. Will Richter is played in 2 games this year. He's had 5 at-bats with no hits. So another hitless player here for the Blue Dogs trying to get the offense started this season. As that pitch falls behind Richter.
I was right about to say how confident A.J. Ventry's been in his curveball right there, but I think opened up a little bit too much on that one. Maybe slipped even out front in his hand. Yeah, he's laughing a little bit at that. That one definitely got away from him. We'll see how much they want to go, possibly do another fastball here on the outside.
Just on cue, there's a fastball, but it's hit towards the center fielder. And making the play there is Copeland. So that'll be the end of the top of the 2nd inning, bringing up the no runs for the Royal Blue Dogs there, bringing up the 4, 5, 6, 7 for the Cropdusters today. This is Corn Belt League Network here at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park.
the first baseman, number 21, Barrett Ringel.
Up to bat here for the Cropdusters, number 21, Barrett Ringel. For Ringel this year, has not featured in a game, so it'll be the first at-bat of the season for Ringel. First pitch strike in there for the Royal Blue Dogs pitcher, Heeb.
Yeah, Heeb again after really an oddly struggling first inning. Again, able to get out of it without any harm done, but we'll see how he can adjust here in a beautiful cutter right there. And being able to have that kind of movement on the outer half is just so devastating for any kind of college hitter.
That one is hit towards the second baseman. The play is made by Ikarashi. It'll be the first out of the bottom of the second here for the Royal Blue Dogs.
Again, I really like the way Heeb has been able to nibble at that outside corner. That's so important for a lot, especially lefty guys that don't have blow-away speed. I mean, we've seen Heeb really top really about low 80s, 80, 81 on his fastball. So when you have that mix with a guy like Heeb, you have to have the control. And if you can work how Heeb has been able to do so far in his first two outings, it's going to be really good for him so far this season.
Caleb Horner up to bat, also waiting for his first hit of the season. He's 0-3 on the year in 2 games played.
That changeup, I believe that was a changeup on that outer half. Again, that circle change movement is just going to drop right in front of you.
This one off the end of the bat, fouled backwards, so it'll be a 0-2 count here for Heeb, making quick work of these Cropduster batters.
Yeah, again, that's so important too. Being able to have that ability to be comfortable up there on the mound, being able to get that rhythm is so important, and Heeb is definitely feeling it right now.
This one will go foul. Just hit off the inside of the bat, a little bit too close to the hands there for the batter.
And again, I mean, Heeb has been able to start it off consistently in the zone. I mean, he's gotten guys to chase too. I mean, we've seen Horner here chase 2, one of those being right there out of the zone. So I think Horner's really struggling right now to be able to really know what's coming from Heeb. He's really been guessing a lot so far in this at-bat.
There's a swing and a miss. And it looks like the ball did not hit the ground, so it will be a third pitch strikeout here for the pitcher Heeb, and a great pitch there in the low corner.
And we talk about being able to have a really good put-away pitch, and of all things, to be able to have Heeb have that changeup to be the most devastating pitch so far, I mean, that's huge for him. I mean, you have such a big movement on that curveball that's really working. I mean, I'd say really, I think out of that left side, it's really about 2 to 8-ish coming out that left side, and that curveball that you saw right there, beautiful on that inner half. And really, again, you saw right there, I mean, Poteet really shaking his head. I mean, there's really nothing you can do there, especially early in the counts. I mean, Heeb is dealing right now, really trying to find his comfort zone.
Swing and a miss there for Poteet, and he's down in the count 0-2, and Heeb's ahead 0-2. That's the second straight batter he's going to head on. So great work here from Heeb early on in this game, getting his confidence up early. That pitch just outside. Looked like it caught the outside corner, but will not get the call there from the umpire. It's going to be 1-2 here for Heeb.
And again, I really like that 0-2 pitch. You don't got to give too much on that outer half.
And there's a swing and a miss for Poteet. And just like that, 0 runs on 0 hits at the bottom of the second for the Cropdusters. We'll have top of the third coming up for the Royal Blue Dogs here at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park. This is Corn Belt League Baseball on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here at the top of the third at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park. After shaky first innings for both of the pitchers, both for the Cropdusters and the Royal Blue Dogs, settling down in the second inning, mowing down both of their opponents that were up to plate. And now here at the top of the third, we'll see what the pitcher can do here, Ventry against the Royal Blue Dogs. First pitch will be fouled off to the right field sideline.
Yeah, again, we talked about how really these two pitchers have been able to adjust after that really struggling first inning. Again, no damage done, so that's the biggest thing. When you are really on your heels a little bit, it is so important for college pitchers to be able to understand that you just got to minimize. If you can minimize and get out of this inning, it really allows yourself to go on to the next batter. That's the biggest thing. Each pitch is going to be a different pitch, and if you can change it up and minimize any kind of damage that you've let up, it allows you to get yourself some more help later in this ballgame.
Up to the plate now is Robo Ikarashi, 2 for 8 on the year with 1 run. Also has 3 strikeouts on the year. And that pitch, thrown behind him again, just another curveball that he let go of too early there from Ventry. It's the second or third time we've seen that today.
Yeah, I can't quite tell if he's really just slipping up on that curveball. It could be an odd thing right now with a lot of guys sweating. I mean, it's so hot, so humid. Being able to get a good grip on that ball can be a challenge at times. Ikarashi
lifts this one towards the left center gap. But making it there in time is Kozel, the left fielder for the Cropdusters. That'll be the first out of the third inning.
Again, it's really the first piece of a strong hitting really off the barrel that we've seen so far for really either team. But again, a really good play right there by Thatcher Kozel out there in left center field. I mean, that can be a ball that at times, if you have some miscommunication, that thing can drop with Caleb Copeland out there in center. But a good way to communicate and get the first out of this inning.
Up to bat now is Brennan Redding from Mount Mercy University. He'll be playing at the shortstop position, but he can really play anywhere on the left side of the infield. He's played at second and at third base, so a very versatile player here for the Cropdusters is Redding.
Yeah, and I think really being able to do that really speaks a lot of volumes to your defensive ability. When you can switch a lot of different looks at that really second through third base side, I mean, you're able to work really well and just be, like you mentioned, a lot more versatile, so it's going to be a lot more opportunities to just be in this lineup because of how many places you're able to play.
There's the second strike there, so it's a 1-2 count here for Redding. Redding 0 for 7 on the year. Another one of these players searching for the first hit in the second week of play. This one's going to be hit towards the shortstop. And a play is made there from Wilhelm. So that'll be the second out of the third inning.
Yeah, again, I really like the way Ventry, as well as he's been able to work so far. Again, you mentioned a little bit of struggling first inning to where both weren't able to find the zone as consistently, but now that they've been a little bit more comfortable, you're seeing a lot more of that nibbling on that outer half. They understand where the strike zone is working so far here in the third inning. Again, working quickly here again from Ventry.
Up to bat is Cuddy George, plays at Northeast Community College. From right here in Omaha, played at Omaha West Side. He'll be the 10th hitter for the Royal Blue Dogs. And what a great pitch that is from Ventry. The curveball dropping in for a strike.
Yeah, again, you like that. That 12-6 look is coming really straight from his elbows, kind of the look that you're seeing right there. So early in counts for a guy like Cuddy George, really looking at that once again. And yeah, saw George right there, not quite happy with seeing another curveball back-to-back. And I think we'll see here, is Ventry comfortable enough to go that a third time? He's want to go fastball high and up.
And it's a swing and a miss there in the dirt. The catcher will make the play. That's Poti making the third out of the inning for the Royal Blue Dogs. 0 runs on 0 hits. We will see the Cropdusters here at the bottom of the third at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park. This is the Corn Belt League on the Corn Belt League Network.
No matter what your age, skill level, or position, your baseball season begins at the Strike Zone. Featuring state-of-the-art batting cages, group and private instruction, the Strike Zone provides athletes all the training and equipment you need to get your game to the next level. Give the gift of development to your baseball or softball player. Purchase your Strike Zone gift cards today. Baseball never ends at the Strike Zone.
Back in action here at the bottom of the third inning here in Omaha. Coming up for the Cropdusters, it is the 10th hitter. Batting 7th in the lineup, it's going to be Peabody here for the Cropdusters.
Again, you're getting to the bottom of the lineup here, so a lot of guys that haven't quite seen Hebe so far. So if you're Hebe, again, same mentality, establishing the zone early, which you've done these first 2 innings. Now you got to attack that outer half. Again, you really cannot really look past any of these hitters, of course. However, with how comfortable you've been able to be these last 2 innings, still attacking that zone.
This one hit softly towards the second baseman, making the play. Ikarashi called his name a lot tonight. A lot of balls going his way. Being able to make the routine plays huge in this league, not giving up those free bases.
And again, there you talk about that. I mean, not giving you those free bases and huge. You saw the one hit by pitch from Hebe, but past that, he's really been damage-free. And for a guy like Hebe, you see that really soft contact is so important for him. Again, a guy that crafty lefty that you're going to see that's really going to work, low 80s, high 70s, is not going to be a guy that's ever going to blow by too many guys with a lot of strikeouts, but getting that weak contact, and you see it right there once again.
And again, the play is from Ikarashi to the first baseman, Turnquist. The 4-3 turn there by the Blue Dogs, and it'll bring up the bottom of the order in Hogan.
That is the 4th time today in just 2 1/3 innings for Hebe that we've seen a ground ball, a weak ground ball to Ikarashi at second. So, I mean, again, you talk about so much with Hebe. I'm so impressed with him so far, how he's been able to work in his 2 outings so far this season. It's been establishing the zone early, being able to be comfortable with that zone, and then not being afraid to attack, especially with a guy that doesn't have quite as much speed. He's allowing his defense to make plays, and they've made him so far.
Especially after a first inning where he did give up a hit, and then a hit by pitch. He's been able to really settle in well. He's retired, I believe, the last 9 batters he's faced. Last 8 batters he's faced.
Again, we'll see here with him. I mean, you're talking about 10-1-2 here. I think we saw that in the first outing of really how comfortable that Guido was with Evan Hebe in the second time through the order. So I think that'll be another discussion here in the dugout. If they want to go to Hebe once again these next couple innings, or how comfortable or how much of a leash they want to give him. And I'd be comfortable with him so far with how well he's been working. Of course, the Royal Blue Dogs do really just have about everybody available in the bullpen. Braden Bach, will be the main guys. Talking to Guido before this one, who would be coming out of the bullpen for them. We'll see how quickly they could get him warmed up. But right now, again, you really want to allow Hebe to go as long as he can with how really consistent he's been here today.
3-1 for Hebe is hit by Hogan. It's going to be a playable ball in foul territory. Sorry, it goes fair for the first baseman, Turnquist, and that'll be the end of the third inning. No runs on no hits for the Cropdusters. We'll have the top of the 4th here back in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the Corn Belt League Network. Back here for the top of the 4th inning here in Omaha. And both of these pitchers have been playing extremely well today, Jaden.
Yeah, I mean, we are working very quickly through this one, just about halfway through this ball game, and we've gone through 37 minutes into this one. Both pitchers, again, that pace has been so big for both these guys so far. They've been able to find the zone consistently, getting weak contact. It's really helped Hebe a little bit more than Ventry, but Ventry's been able to find the zone with a lot more strikeouts here today. But again, a very quick game, and I've really liked how both of these pitchers have worked so far here today. And I think if the way they've worked so far here early in this one, really that gives their coaching staffs a little more comfortability with them and bigger opportunities and giving more outings throughout the rest of the season.
Another huge thing to look at is the way the pitcher's mentality is on the mound. As soon as they get the ball back, they're ready to throw another one, and a great curve there thrown by Ventry to make it a 2-2 count. After being down 2-0 in the count, Ventry's thrown 2 great curves to even it up again.
And I think that's a big thing from Ventry. I mean, that's for me as a pitcher myself, that's something that is so satisfying to me. When I can feel so confident in my number 2 and number 3 pitch or my go-away pitch a lot of times, especially even when you're down in the count, that's really when you know you're having a good day.
That one's hit high into the right center gap. Running towards it is Horner. And the catch is made by the center fielder, Copeland. And that's really the first big hit we've seen there for the Blue Dogs today, other than the one Ikarashi had that fly out to left center field. So second time through the lineup, Blue Dogs are finally getting a good bat on the ball here.
And again, even with the out like you mentioned, you cannot be upset with that at-bat right there. You get a long at-bat from Ventry, and you're able to square something up. Can't quite get it down, but maybe that allows, like you mentioned, the second time of the order. They've seen Ventry so far here already today, and now maybe some time to be able to adjust and find a barrel.
That'll bring up the catcher Easton. We saw him get the infield hit to the shortstop last time he was at the plate, and then he was subbed off. Came in Devin Jones to pinch run for him. A great pitch there from Ventry to make it 1-1.
Yeah, Easton, another guy from Arizona Christian University. Both him and Hebe, Evan Hebe, you saw here on the mound today for the Royal Blue Dogs, both coming out of there. And again, you talk about so much, really having 3 or 4 guys that all come from the same college, that all know each other on the same team. That really brings up that chemistry. You can have that click you can work with and really, be able to be a lot more comfortable in an area that's, a lot more foreign to people that, especially from Arizona.
That one's going to fall foul. Went right over the hand of the first baseman, Ringel. But unfortunately for Eastham, does not stay in play. But good contact again there for the catcher.
Yeah, that one was about 2 or 3 inches. Just foul the right field line right there. And again, now we're seeing the Royal Blue Dogs, like you mentioned, maybe find some more barrels. I think this is time to where you got to think, okay, how do you adjust here? Now you've already seen their fastball. You've only worked 2 to 3 pitches. Do you work backwards here?
Pitch is low and outside. It'll be 2-2 coming up here for Eastham. And you talk about coming from Arizona Christian University. He's used to the heat, but the humidity is way different here in Omaha compared to Arizona. A lot of dry heat down there. This is a lot more humid than what he's used to playing in. As this one's lifted towards left center, and the catch is made there by the left fielder, Kozel.
And again, I think I'm really liking the way Ventry's been able to work. Again, you're working through the second time of the order, so sometimes you got to switch them things up. This is where it becomes such a mental game for that 1v1 pitcher versus hitter battle. And being able to, although, get a couple misses. I mean, both these balls were not quite fully squared up. And being able to get that slight miss has been so important for Ventry.
Oh, and Ventry hits the batter in the ankle. This Turnquist will take first base there. Sorry, Killinger will take first base, bringing up Turnquist to bat. And before that hit by pitch, Ventry had retired the last 10 batters.
Again, he's been so consistent. The only really mess up that we've seen here today was Easton back in that first inning with the single. And now the only free pass he's given up here today. I think Killinger really kind of walked that one off a little bit. That's one that isn't too major to be able to hurt you in the long run, but it's just annoying to feel that right into your really plant foot in that fronter end to be able to hit you. And I think they might have a sub now. Now they're going to keep him out.
Just a quick check. Looks like he'll stay on base.
And I think Coach Guido wanted to come out and check on him to see if he needed a possible pinch runner. They'll keep him in. See now really the first piece of action that we've seen on the base pass for either of these teams the last 2 innings.
Good stop there by Potee, keeping the ball from running to the backstop.
And I'm surprised Potee didn't check out the umpire out there at second base. I mean, it was a close call with Turnquist. Almost fooled on that one, but able to to stay back and not fall behind 0-1.
With 2 outs here, it's another good stop there by Poteet. He's looking around for the ball. He gone to his back left side. He kept looking to the back right.
Yeah, those are the moments as a catcher, honestly paralyzing at times, where you cannot tell where the ball is. You're just trying to find where it's at, some kind of, be able to figure it out in some way. And able to get in front of it. I mean, Poteet has done a really good job behind the home plate so far here today.
That pitch catches the outside line. Great pitch there from Ventry. After throwing 2 balls in the dirt, able to recover and put one right in the outside corner.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if Toby Turnquist liked that one, but that one is a beautiful frame on that outer half. I mean, you talk about Poteet setting up outside, staying outside, and that looks a lot more like a strike.
Runner goes, throws a little bit late, and it goes behind the shortstop, so advancing to third base here is the runner, Killinger. After reaching on a hit by pitch, he's now 90 feet away from the first run of the game.
I mean, odd setup right there. We saw Killinger, who was already limping a little bit down to first base, catches Poteet off guard with the delayed steal right there, and then not able to get in front of it was Braxton Wilhelm there at short. And now you got the go-ahead run here early in this one, or midway in this one here for the Royal Blue Dogs.
It's the second error of the game for the Cropdusters, and it leaves the go-ahead run 90 feet away from the plate.
And especially here with 2 outs, you're getting the payoff pitch here. Want to make sure that you're not giving too much here for Ventry.
And it will be a walk, so advancing to first base is Turnquist. That'll bring up Bach here, the designated hitter.
Now batting.
Yeah, I don't really mind that pitch too much, be able to give up that walk there from A.J. Ventry. Right now, with 2 outs, you really only got to care about really just the batter in front of you. But you do have 2 bases open with a runner at third base. You're getting to a part of the lineup that you're more comfortable with the first time through the order. And now for Ventry again, now it's resetting yourself and knowing that right now you got 2 force outs, both at second and first.
And there's a hit by pitch. Catches Bach in the upper shoulder area. So 2 hit by pitches in this inning, and Ventry's lost a little bit of that control that we saw in the second and third inning.
Yeah, this is the time that you see right now a little bit of talk between this coaching staff and A.J. Ventry. He's been so consistent in the first 3 innings of work. Like you mentioned, 10 straight retired batters for Ventry up against the Royal Blue Dogs, and now you're in a jam like no other with bases loaded and 2 outs. Nobody running the bullpen for the Cropdusters to see how long they want to allow Ventry to go. Again, this is a talk right here to where, again, we talk so much. How can you minimize? Really, if you don't allow any runs here, nothing truly matters if you get this next out. And that's got to be the discussion out there at the mound.
And Ventry did a really good job. Ventry and Heeb have both done really good jobs of just forcing weak contact to infielders. We saw it in the second and third inning with Ikarashi at second base, and we saw it here with the shortstop, Wilhelm. It's been pretty good here from Ventry, forcing weak contact. We'll see if he can do that here against Tommy Rowland, the left fielder.
Yeah, Rowland, like you mentioned, one of those pieces the first time he was up to bat with the ground of the shortstop. That weak contact was so important here for Ventry. And again, this is a time where you need this next out. Get out of this jam. Get some momentum back to the Cropdusters side.
First pitch catches low for a strike.
And again, you saw both those hit by pitches on the fastball to the inner half, and maybe a little more confident there for Ventry to work backwards here. Again, we talked so much how that can be important. Working off speed early the second time through the order, and then punching away with that fastball later in counts.
And this one will get away from the catcher. And unable to get there in time, so that will be 1 run scored for the Royal Blue Dogs. In there is Killinger, and he will score the first run of the ballgame.
What an odd play right there. I mean, just barely got really off the left pad of Thatcher Poteet behind home plate. But a really good dirt ball read right there from Ryan Killinger, just 90 feet away. I mean, he was anticipating that. Being able to get that good lead, that timed lead right there, allowed him to get home just in time.
So now with the count at 1-1. Roland ropes this one, but it'll go foul. Just a little bit behind that one, but it was good contact.
And again, we see now finally the first at bat or first run of the day for either of these teams. And right after, I was talking about how quick this game is going. This top of the fourth has really been a longer inning here for the Royal Blue Dogs. Another curveball that missed right there. I mean, even to count back up at 2-2, and I really like the way this middle and bottom half of the order for the Royal Blue Dogs is adjusted to Ventry right now. We talked so much how important getting long at-bats has been, and that's what the Blue Dogs have been able to do.
And there's a strikeout looking on Tommy Rowland. Great pitch there from Ventry. However, the damage has been done. 1 run scored for the Royal Blue Dogs. No hits, 1 error for the Cropdusters. We will have the bottom of the 4th inning back on the Corn Belt League Network here in Omaha. Back here at the bottom of the 4th, 1 run scored in the top of the 4th by the Royal Blue Dogs. That gives them that 1-0 advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pitcher's duel between these two, and Ventry two hit by pitches, and a walk that last inning. Put the bases loaded, and I don't know if they want to officially call it either a wild pitch or a pass ball. Either way, the ball got away, and a first run in the first really piece of action that we saw for either offense so far here today. And with how Evan Heeb has been working so far here today, that could be really major disruption to how the Cropdusters have been feeling so far.
And what a great pitch we just saw there from Heeb, just catching the batter here, Caleb Copeland, who bats first in this Cropduster order, just caught him off guard there with a lower pitch and got him swinging at a pitch in the dirt. This one hits the bottom of the barrel to go foul. This will be an 0-2 count here for Copeland.
Again, we talked about how consistent he's been in the outer half of this that strike zone right now. I mean, he's been able to find that fastball in the outer half. He's been able to work that really late cut from that curveball on the inner side to a lot of righties. He's been doing a really good job so far.
Pitch misses high. It'll be a ball. So 1-2 coming up for Copeland.
And again, you got another couple pitches to waste if you're Heeb right now. If you want to work that outer half, I'd like to see maybe another changeup here, 1-2.
This one's going to be hit towards the second base, and great play there at second base from Ikarashi, and he'll retire the first hitter for the Cropdusters.
That is the 5th infield assist right there from Robu Ikarashi so far today. Talk about being able to have a day out there at second. I mean, that was really the hardest play that we've seen so far from him so far today. I mean, in a league like this where you're trying to get better, if I'm the left side of the infield who has seen no action so far here today, I mean, you got to be, thankful that your guy at second's making some plays, but wondering, hey, it was one to come my way at some point.
You mentioned that's a hard play. You got to know if you're charging the ball or if you're going to hang back, and Ikarashi read that extremely well, caught it off the short hop, and made a quick throw to first base to catch the runner.
And a big thing is you want to make sure that you're either getting a short hop, being able to like you mentioned, charge up, get that short hop right in front of you to be able to pick that one, or go back and allow your eyes to come back on that ground ball, Tori, if you're allowing to go that long hop. I think the biggest thing that I've seen is making sure that your eyes are behind the ball every single time that you're allowing that long hop to happen. There's a really good play right there. Robu Ikarashi, he's had a really good day out there at second.
Another hit pulled, but it's going to go foul there on the right field side.
And we talked about some guys that, like pitching wise, that can be a one pitcher, a two pitcher, or a three pitcher, right? You can be one mistake in at bat, two mistakes in at bat, or three mistakes in at bat. Evan Hebe's really been a one mistake kind of guy, but past that, he's done a really good job.
This one's high towards the right center gap. Under it is a center fielder making the play. There is Kojal for the second out of the inning. And Evan Hebe is making quick work of these batters.
And again, I mean, he doesn't have that blow-by speed. He's not a guy that's just going to excite you so much with a bunch of strikeouts, but he's done such a good job to be able to figure a way that really none of these Cropdusters has been able to barrel him up too much, being able to just get off the end of the bat just a little bit earlier, just a little bit behind. And that's really due in part to the way he's been able to sequence his pitches so far.
And you talked about mistakes. Last time Suarez was up, Hebe did hit him, allowing that free base runner. But since then, Hebe has been fairly well pitching-wise. He has not allowed a hit since then.
Yeah, 9 consecutive batters he's been able to take out. And we talk about really the guy that is a little more junk baller type of guy.
This one caught off the first hop by the shortstop, and the play is made for the Cropdusters. No runs on no hits for them in the bottom of the fourth. Coming up in the top of the fifth, we'll see the Royal Blue Dogs with their 1-0 advantage here in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the Corn Belt League on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here at the top of the fifth, Royal Blue Dogs with a 1-0 lead here against the Cropdusters. But sticking on the mound is Ventry, and they've got no one in the bullpen here.
Yeah, I think both these coaching staffs are really just excited to be able to use these guys with how well they've been able to do so far against Ventry, like you mentioned, a really rough fourth inning with 2 hit-by pitches and a walk. But so far here today, only 2 hits allowed from Ventry, both those being back in the first inning. So, I mean, really it's been just if he can find the zone consistently, which we saw him do a lot back in the second and third, he's going to have a really good day and be able to really be the guy that can go a lot of innings here for the Cropdusters. Again, it's only a 1-0 ball game, so it's really how the Cropdusters offense can adjust to how just really dominant Evan Hebe's been able to be so far in his second appearance of the year.
This one fouled directly back, so it'll be a 1-2 count coming up here for the 7-hitter. Richter, he's going to be playing third base for the Blue Dogs as well. Hasn't seen much action on the field, though, like we mentioned in the last inning. It's been all going to the second baseman, Ikarashi. This one hit into the left center gap, and it'll fall for a base hit for Richter. That is his first hit of the year. So a good start to the second week here for Will Richter.
Yeah, once again, I think hanging that off speed right there, or excuse me, that fastball right there from A.J. Ventry has really been able to be, these last 2 innings, the Royal Blue Dogs really been able to find a little more barrels up against Ventry. And I think, we talk about so much humidity here. It's a really hot atmosphere, so long games are really, I wouldn't say, a rarity, but definitely not a usual thing out of a lot of pitchers, definitely in summer ball. I think maybe some fatigue setting in for Ventry, not quite able to see as much command. I think the velocity has gone down just a touch so far here as well, as we're just about through 5 innings.
Still nothing in the bullpen for the Cropdusters. Trusting Ventry. Runner goes. It's a hit and run, and Ikarashi delivers. Going to third is Will Richter, and so Ikarashi with the single advances the runner to third base, and the Blue Dogs have a runner in scoring position.
Again, we talk about those mistakes. How can these offenses just really pounce on some of those mistakes that we see from some of these pitchers? And Ventry has really just given too much of the zone to that fastball. We saw that too high. We really saw that. We saw Poteet behind home plate setting up on that outer half. They really just lofted up a little bit towards the middle center of the zone. And Ikarashi now with runners on the corners. Bring up now the bottom of the lineup, and we'll see how the Royal Blue Dogs can possibly get something to going here. A couple insurance runs.
Brennan Redding 0 for 8 on the year after grounding out to the shortstop earlier on in this game. But that stat really means nothing. We saw Will Richter get his first hit. Now he's at third base after a great hit and run there from Ikarashi. So we'll see if Brennan Redding can get his hit count started for this Corn Belt League season.
Yeah, we'll see if he wants to put a bunt down. Suarez out there at third is possibly ready to charge in.
And there's a pickoff at first base. Ikarashi caught sleeping there, just too far off the bag.
And beautiful thinking right there from A.J. Ventry. A lot of guys, especially when you're a righty, you're mainly just, as a guy at first base, you're thinking, okay, he's only thinking about the guy at third. How close can he keep him? But a beautiful pickoff move got Ikarashi sleeping. And now maybe a little bit more of comfortability here for the Cropdusters, because you see any ball in the infield, now you know you're trying to cut off the runner at third, and you also have one out. So again, just those chip away pieces, and we'll see if Ventry can get one for himself here.
That does become the question, though. If the ball is hit towards the shortstop, where do you think, are they going to throw home, or are they going to go for the out?
I mean, that's the biggest thing here. I mean, being able to make sure you're looking back the runner out there at third base. Richter, again, not a ton of speed out there at third. Could be able to maybe test one on the infield. That's that communication that the guy at third base, as well as your third base coach, have to have.
Sharply hit ball, but it's going to go foul on the third base side, so it'll be a 1-2 count here for Brennan Redding.
Ventry right now with one out, being able to get one for one himself right now would be so big. Getting that second out of the inning, you can allow your defense to take a breath and step back.
Pitch is high and inside, and we do finally have some action here in the Cropduster bullpen. Got a few arms throwing around in there. Just in case Ventry does happen to give up something here, I think they keep him on a short leash. 2-2 and a good swing and a miss. The runner will be stopped. They say that the ball did not hit the dirt, so a good strikeout there for Ventry, and now he's one out away from getting out of another tough position.
And here, I think, yeah, Coach Guido's not happy with that one. I think they thought that hit the dirt. He's stepping at a point. Yeah, I think that one definitely most likely was in the dirt, and Guido not happy with that call right there. I think they'll leave it as is.
And if that did not hit the dirt, what a catch it was from Poteet.
I mean, Poteet there, I mean, you're in front of the ball. I mean, that's good ability right there to be able to sell that. Because either way, if that one does hit the dirt, you got to be able to make sure that you're keeping Richter at third and a strong throw on to first to make sure he stays back there at third.
Just under the first pitch there is George, the extra hitter, batting in the 10 spot. So we got 10-1-2 here coming up if there is a play made on this ball.
Yeah, George right there. He was not quite happy that one. He thought that one was the pitch coming at him, a fastball that really just stuck out a little bit too much in front of the plate, but just got under it. Now we'll see how Ventry can work here.
Pitch just outside. Poteet trying to frame it inside, but did not work that time.
Yeah, Ventry even on that pitch had a little bit more of glove side run. And he's working quickly here, trying to get this third out of the inning to hold off any more insurance runs here for the Blue Dogs.
Instead, the next pitch is high. It'll be a 2-1 count. George last time up, strikeout looking against Ventry. And that ended the third inning.
Beautiful curveball right there from Ventry. Again, you're trying to even the count back up, get yourself ahead. I think we've seen, if I'm correct, usually 2 or 3 different 2-1 curveballs from Ventry so far in these last 2 innings.
There's another curveball, and he gets him looking again for the second time this game. So good pitch work there from Ventry to get out of the jam. No runs on 2 hits for the Royal Blue Dogs. We'll see the Cropdusters try and answer and get this lead back in their favor in the bottom of the 5th inning here at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the Corn Belt League on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here in the bottom of the 5th inning, finally some action here in the Cropdusters bullpen.
Yeah, Jack Tilton and Logan Davis, talking to the coaching staff here for the Cropdusters, that's the guy, 2 guys they want to go to here, possibly to see these last 6th and 7th innings. We'll see who they want to really be the setup man or the closer. Tilton and Davis are really trying to be a big piece in helping out Ventry, who has struggled a little bit these last 2 innings, but a really good job being able to minimize after struggling a little bit and really kept it in reach here for the Cropdusters.
Up to bat is Barnes, a designated hitter. He'll have the count here at 1-2. Working against he, who's had a pretty efficient game so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's been just so consistent throughout this second appearance for him, and we saw him really be just such a big presence in just 4 innings pitched in his first outing, 9 strikeouts. Maybe the first piece of damage right there.
This one lifted. Tracking back is the center fielder, Kojal, making the play there. So a fly out to deep left center. And another good hit there from Barnes, but unfortunately just no hits to show for it, really.
Yeah, and again, it would really be a good job right there to be able to find a barrel, but an even better play out there in center by Trent Kojal. Be able to range to that one and be able to make the play. And now, again, if you're Hebe right now, again, that was the mistake there in that at-bat. There's always 1 or 2 mistakes you can see from Hebe. That was one of them, but being able to get out of it with an out means so much more and really gives you a lot more confidence in the defense behind you. And it's really been on. We saw Ventry a little bit too, really, especially with this humidity, sweating too much. I mean, you can't really deal with it either way, but sweating enough to where your grip on the ball isn't as consistent, especially on your off speed. But here, I mean, even with Hebe, he hasn't really had to deal with that too much, hasn't really missed too much with his off speed, both his curveball and his cutter. And I think really that's really due in part to how comfortable he's been on the mound, and really how much pacing he's been able to keep himself to. He's been really consistent with his pacing so far here today and making sure that he is set and ready to go for his next pitch.
There's a 1-1 big swing there from Ringel.
Yeah,
and it's a 1-2 pitch.
Ringel was trying to take that one over the scoreboard out in left center field right there. The helmet almost came off. And he really liked that one, but just barely missed. You got to be upset with yourself after that.
Pitch is inside. Ringel lays off. It'll be 2-2 coming up.
And again, especially here with just a 1-run game for the Cropdusters, I understand the mentality where you want to have one bomb to be able to answer it back and to be able to even this game back up. But right now for the Cropdusters, with how well Hebe's been doing, You just got to have quality at bats. A long at bat right there, but another beautiful off speed by Evan Heeb.
And caught a big swing, sent Ringel to his knees there. And coming up now is Horner. And Reeves got 2 outs, just trying to get one more and bring it to the top of the 6th inning. Trying to get some insurance runs here for the Royal Blue Dogs. This 1-0 lead could change in an instant here with one bad pitch.
Yeah, I mean, he 4 strikeouts here today in just about 4 2/3 innings of work. And I think if you're Coach Guido right now, you got to be confident in him going the entire way right now. Maybe have Braden Brock be able to be available, but man, if you're having guys miss like that and just not being able to adjust at all that far out in front on your off speed through the second time through the order, I mean, this is what a day right now from Evan Heeb as that one comes straight at us.
Fell directly behind, right into the wall of the press box. That was a close call here. And you know when you hit a ball directly behind, you've just missed it.
Well, even there, I mean, Heeb got him to chase about 2 to 3 inches above the zone. And once again, goodness gracious, Evan Heeb, dirty, and dirty again. And I think we found the ace so far for the Royal Blue Dogs.
2 strikeouts in the 5th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors for the Royal Blue Dogs and the Cropdusters. We'll have 6th inning coming up here from Seymour Smith Park. This is the Corn Belt League Network. Back here in the top of the 6th, top of the order coming up again for the Royal Blue Dogs. They've been able to make a few good hits there in the 4th and 5th innings, I should say, and brings back up the #1 hitter for the Royal Blue Dogs in Kojal.
Yeah, again, we see here for A.J. Venture. You'll see how much he does here as that one's bunted down the third base line. And there you go. Talk about being able to find insurance. Those small ball is going to be huge for the Blue Dogs. And right there, an early base runner. And Venture a little bit more upset, and that might be his day. Jack Tilton was available and did come out of the bullpen. It looks like they're going to bring him in. Logan Davis currently still in the bullpen so far. And that'll be the day for A.J. Venture.
So there, the error there will be credited towards Suarez. Just fumbled the ball there on that bunt. And Kojal able to use the speed to get to first base. And that will be the day. We'll head to a break here. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher when we come back here at J.J. Isaacson Field. This is a Corn Belt League Network.
Now pitching for the Cropdusters.
Back here after the break, new pitcher in is Jack Tilton from West Virginia Wesleyan. He also plays shortstop, can really play anywhere in the infield as well as pitching. He's going to be a sophomore this year at West Virginia Wesleyan. Went to high school at Hillgrove in Georgia. His high school year, pitching-wise, he had 19 strikeouts. Sorry, that was hitting-wise, 19 strikeouts. Not many pitching stats here from West Virginia Wesleyan.
And again, you see back-to-back guys from West Virginia Wesleyan, both out of Georgia, which is an odd thing to say. Actually, that's the biggest reason that we saw A.J. Ventry come here, to be able to work with both Jack and another guy that worked with him at West Virginia Wesleyan. The three of them being able to work here with Thatcher Poteet. I mean, Jack was here last season, and this year brought two more of his guys from West Virginia Wesleyan, so all being able to get some work here in the Corn Belt League. And again, we mentioned how big the chemistry can be when you have a lot of guys that you know, a lot of guys that you're comfortable playing with. It makes it all the more easy to be able to move to such a far distance away from what you're used to.
This one hit towards the shortstop, trying to turn two of the Cropdusters. And they will. Double play for the Cropdusters. And able to get that runner out at first base. Huge there for the new pitcher, Tilton.
Yeah, talk about tailor-made right there. Ground ball over to Wilhelm at short, 6-4-3 double play. And right after, you're really seeing a lot of pressure put on the Cropdusters as it all gets relieved in one pitch. And now for the Royal Blue Dogs, you got to reset here with 2 outs.
First pitch hit into foul territory, so it'll be 0-1 coming up here for Killinger. He got hit by pitch last time he was up in the 4th inning. Before that, had a ground out.
Let's see how Killinger can do here. Maybe try to pull something to the right field side.
Good pitch there from Tilton. 0-2 count now, trying to get out of this inning quick.
I like that fastball curve movement so far. He's been able to work it pretty well here. Just the second at-bat we've seen here from Tilton.
That pitch way outside. Poteet able to recover.
They couldn't quite tell if that was a curveball or a changeup he was trying to go to. It looked like the fingers just rolled off too much on that one. And Tilton, who, like you mentioned, isn't too much of a pitcher himself, he's trying to see what he can work with here.
Pitch low in the dirt, but with a few pitches to waste, it's not the worst thing. Try and catch the batter chasing one. But now at 2-2, you got to try and lock one in a little bit closer to the zone.
Yeah, I think especially after working with a couple off speed here, if you're Tilton, you want to be able to nibble that outside with a fastball.
And right on cue, there's that fastball. Making a play on it is a second baseman. Did Tilton get there in time? He did not. And so the runner will reach on an infield hit. That's Killinger making it to first base.
Yeah, that is the definition of a PFP setup. I mean, really at the college level and the high school level, at least experience myself, those are the type of balls that are just so difficult to be able to work with. Really, if you're that first or second baseman, right, it's just chopping between that 3-4 hole. If you're Tilton, didn't quite realize it soon enough, not usually set up as a pitcher himself, so didn't quite realize it early enough and did not quite get to first base in time. And now maybe something going here with 2 outs. It's been a pitcher's duel back and forth, but maybe the Royal Blue Dogs trying to add some insurance.
Up to bat is Turnquist last time up. He was walked. And so with Killinger at first base, there's a pickoff throw. But making it back in time is Killinger.
We'll see what Turnquist can do here, 1 for 1 on the day with a single back in the first and a walk back in the 4th. So he's really been the biggest bright spot of this struggling lineup, which is odd to say even with the lead right now for the Royal Blue Dogs.
It's crazy to think how fast this game has gone. Just an hour and 17 minutes, and we're almost, sorry, we should say we are in the last 2 innings now, 6th and 7th inning. That'll leave us with a lot of downtime between the 2 games tonight. The next game will be first pitch scheduled at 8 p.m. today.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see this last matchup of the night here at Seymour Smith. I mean, being able to see 2 teams that could do some damage here that are actually having kind of odd seasons from last year, both the Black Sox as well as the Haymakers. The Black Sox have really just seen the Cropdusters so far. Only 2 games they've fully been able to play this season. Both of them wins up against the Cropdusters. 2 different games that were postponed midway through.
And the runner caught here. And it looks like they call a ball 4 instead.
And confused, I believe they did call that ball 4. I thought for a second they called possibly catcher's interference behind home plate. But yeah, I guess they do call that inside. But now here, I mean, you're looking to the back half of your order. Another big chance here for the Royal Blue Dogs. And a lot of times you say, okay, the back half of the order maybe struggling here. They've been really the most consistent so far here today.
Last time up, Bach, another hit by pitch. That was the second hit by pitch of the 4th inning, where the Blue Dogs scored that first and only run of the game. Still do have an arm in the bullpen for the Cropdusters, but if you're Tilton, you're just trying to get out of here and set it up for the 7th for that closer to come in and keep this lead at 1. That's a great pitch there from Tilton, catching the inside corner. The 0-2 coming up. Great way to get ahead early on with 2 outs as well.
And now you can work really anything you want in that arsenal here from Tilton. Can't give too much to Bach. I don't mind that pitch right there. Being able to work that load inside. Really, I think that was more or less a curveball in that 12-6 look. Now I think you maybe want to go a fastball high and up. Maybe change the eye level of Bach here.
Right on cue, there's a fastball high and up, and staying disciplined at the plate there is Bach.
Yeah, I really like the way Tilton's been able to attack that inner half. You want to be a really good college pitcher, you got to be able to work well in the inner half. Now see if you nibble off the outside.
And there it is, strikeout looking for Tilton. For the Royal Blue Dogs, no runs on 1 hit. 1 error for the Cropdusters, 2 left on base. We'll see what the Cropdusters can do on offense against the great pitching of Hebe right now. Here, coming up, is the bottom of the 6th at J.J. Isaacson Field in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the Corn Belt League Network. We're here at the bottom of the 6th inning. For the Cropdusters, up is the catcher Potee. He's been having a great day on the field. That one wild pitch, pass ball, confusion there that led to that first run.
That's really been the only blemish for him today behind home plate. And I think a big thing for him, Potee, not the primary catcher for the Cropdusters, but I think the biggest reason that he's been behind home plate today is because both of the pitchers that he's been able to work with, both from the same college. Not a lot of people really understand how important catchers can be just in the pitching aspect.
There's no one to cover first base, and Potee will make it to first. Fielding blunder there from the Blue Dogs leads to the first base runner in 4 innings.
Yeah, 2 different odd defensive plays, really a PFP type of plays. For those who don't know, pitching fielding practice is kind of PFP is the acronym mainly known for it for a lot of pitchers. I think he couldn't quite tell if he was going to be able to grab that. Wasn't fully on his horse going to first. And Toby Turnquist out there at first base trying to get it to him, but wasn't able to do too much with it.
We talked about free passes. Well, technically it's not an error. It's definitely one that should have been made, a play that could have been made by the Royal Blue Dogs fielders. And they catch the runner here in a pickle. And he's safe at first. Great base running there from Poti. And we talked about it, both catchers with some sneaky speed here. Not something you see much from the catching position.
Yeah, I mean, he really got the runner at first, entirely guessing. It was a beautiful move. We haven't really seen that move so much here today, just because we haven't seen many runners at first base so far here today for the Cropdusters, but somehow able to get out of it. And really right there, I'm not too upset with that, really, for the defense for the Royal Blue Dogs. You'd be a lot more upset if you threw something out into left center field, and now you would allow a runner in scoring position. But at minimum, really good job to at least keep him back at first.
There's a pickoff throw there from Hebe. Saw Peabody lining up for a bunt here. Infielders playing in.
Yeah, you see Richter out there at third. He's got to be crashing hard here. You've got to be able to get an out if he lays one down.
And there it is. There's the bunt. Getting on it is the catcher. And the play is made at first from Eastham. Great agility from Eastham, recognizing that the third baseman and the pitcher were not making a play on the ball. Getting out there and getting the out at first. But with one out, they've got a runner in scoring position to the Cropdusters. And up to bat is Wilhelm, the shortstop.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing right there, if you're Eastham right there, the biggest thing to show from him is the communication right there and making sure you're calling off your third baseman to get back to third and then being able to make a strong throw onto first.
So Wilhelm up to bat last time, ground out to the second baseman. Big cut there from Wilhelm, but it's a great pitch inside from Hebe.
Yeah, Wilhelm right there, I think we see this entire outfield. This is an odd look right now from the outfield for the Royal Blue Dogs. Left center gap is just as big as you could ever see. Tommy Rowland out there in left is about 20 feet from the left field line, and Trent Kojal is about straight up in center.
Runner goes, throws in time, but the runner is safe. So now you're seeing runner at third. That's Poti, and he's got some speed on him, as we saw in that pickle situation.
That was a beautiful jump right there, being able to get to third just barely in time. I mean, it was not a bad throw behind home plate from Ryan Eastham. He set his feet well, especially going up against a rider. You kind of got to work around him, but just barely able to get in time. That's due to that really great jump there at third. And you see now the Blue Dogs going to work in defensively. They do not want to allow the Cropdusters to tie this game back up, especially with how dominant Hebe has been so far. But again, this outfield look is really baffling me right now. You see Roland just way out there in dead left, or sort of like left field line. Everything else is straight up. If you're Wilhelm right now, you want to put something right over the shortstop in Redding's head.
New runner at third base here coming in for Poti is number 36, Cade Owens for the Cropdusters. Just a little bit more speed than Poti, especially in a sac fly situation. You want your fastest guy out there on third base.
Yeah, Owens really struggling at the bat so far, 0 for 5 hitting-wise. But again, that speed has been so big for him. We saw that both with that pickle play as well as the 2 stolen bases.
So now with a full count, here's Wilhelm trying to at least either get on base or get the RBI sac fly here.
And I think if you're Hebe right now, again with one out, getting one yourself would be huge right now. Do have a base open.
Hit towards third. The runner will score. And the throw is over the first baseman. Advancing to second is Wilhelm. And just like that, we've got a tied game here, 1-1 between the Blue Dogs and the Cropdusters.
I mean, an odd play right there from Richter. I mean, he has to go back to his backhand to be able to retrieve that ball. I mean, your momentum's behind you, so no way you're able to get a really fast Cade Owens at the plate. A really good jump right there from Owens, knowing that any ball in the infield, he is ready to go for right off the bat. And now it's a tie ball game. And after really a spotless day from Evan Hebe, the Cropdusters have been able to work small ball to keep themselves into it. The 4th error today between both teams And now another possibly now insurance run here for the Cropdusters, just under 180 feet away.
And if the Cropdusters do score that runner at second, what a turnaround it would have been. He was dealing for all of about 4 innings. He retired 12 straight batters in between the second and fifth inning, I should say. Had a struggle in the first inning a little bit. Scary situation there with like runners at the corners for him, but he was able to get out of that jam. But now giving up this run early in the 6th inning, what a turnaround it would be for the Cropdusters, figuring him out second time through the lineup.
Yeah, it will not be an earned run for him with that error. I think we'll see Ryan Eastham go out and talk to him a little bit, maybe settle Hebe down a little bit. Talked to him earlier today. He talked about really that different heat, right? How that really can affect him in games like this. Maybe seeing a little bit more fatigue here. And still nobody up in the bullpen here for the Royal Blue Dogs. And we saw Braden Bach would be the next guy up for them. We'll see really how long they want to allow Hebe to go here.
Pretty long conversation here between Eastham and Hebe. Just wondering how you want to attack this batter, especially with 1 out and being down in the count.
Yeah, I think right now, again, Hebe was really the first time we've seen him here today struggle at all. Defense hasn't quite helped him out, but especially in a back-and-forth game as close as this one is, this is a time to where if you're Evan Hebe, you have to bear down and get out of this inning without any more runs allowed.
Pitches outside, it'll be a 3-0 count. And you got to think this all could have been avoided if it was just one smart play by the Blue Dogs defense, just one cover by Hebe at first or one cover there by the second baseman, Ikarashi at first. With not that fast of a runner, Potilla up to bat, they could have gotten him out. And it was close. He was almost there, but that leads to a run.
And I think, again, Hebe is really taking a long look out there at second. And Braxton Wilhelm able to reach on that error like you mentioned earlier. A couple small mistakes have really hurt the Blue Dogs here in the 6th. Again, you can't give too much here if you're Hebe. You do have a base open, but you want to figure a way to come back in this count.
There it is, strike down the middle. Good curveball there from Hebe.
Yeah, I don't mind that off-speed look, and you haven't quite seen as much consistency here in the 6th with that fastball, so being able to work a little bit off spin in the outer half, which you feel more comfortable with to get yourself, another get-me-up pitch here.
That one fouled directly back. So it'll be a full count here. And good work back by Hebe, working it from 3-0 to a full count.
And again, the mentality has been so big so far for Evan Hebe. I mean, he's been able to nibble on that outer half. It's really got a lot of different hitters off balance. Again, here's going to be a really big pitch. You don't got to give too much, but you got to understand 2 runners on the base paths is not going to help you out anymore. It's kind of an odd dichotomy here. You don't want to give too much to Hogan, but you also got to realize you're back to the top of the order the 3rd time to the lineup right after this, and you would give up another guy on the base paths.
This one hit towards the second baseman. Ikarashi low.
Time a ball has reached to him, and just the first error on the day for him. But man, the errors have just really hurt both of these teams. 5 total errors between the defensive efforts for the Royal Blue Dogs and the Cropdusters. And I mean, if you're Hebe right now, that you just can't have that. I mean, that's an instance where you really need an out. You had the perfect pitch. You came back after down 3-0. Being able to even the count back up at 3-2, and you get weak contact once again. I mean, it's just got to be a frustrating piece right now for Evan Hebe. Now you still only have 1 out with runners in the corners.
Bunt is going to be fouled down and back. So 0-1 the count here for the leadoff hitter, Caleb Copeland.
We'll see what Copeland can do here. I mean, you talk about how much action we've seen Ikarashi get so far here at second for the Royal Blue Dogs. Both times Copeland has grounded out to him, both in the 1st and the 4th. And now if you can hold Hogan at first, And get another weak ground ball to Ikarashi. Being able to maybe redeem yourself for Ikarashi and get a double play here would be huge for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And he's taking his time now. Earlier on in this game, we saw him get set right away, throw a pitch in, and it was just repetitive. It was a constant motion for him, just throwing the pitches. But now with runners at the corners, having already given up a run this inning, he's taking a little bit longer in his set position before he throws a pitch in. And there's a pickoff pitch, but getting back in time is Hogan.
Yeah, like you mentioned, a long look at Hogan out there at first base. If you're right now, if you're the Cropdusters, this is a position to where you maybe want to be able to make sure you can get a stolen base out there at second base, because then you got a lot more thinking to do if you're the defense for the Royal Blue Dogs, especially in the catcher Eastham.
High pop fly. And making the catch, barehanded is the catcher. What a play that was from Eastham.
It bounced off of the glove of Toby Turnquist at first, and somehow Ryan Eastham grabs it barehanded. Dakota Hogan ends up being a sacrifice fly to the infield, I guess if you want to call it that, as Hogan tagged up from first, headed to second, and he was really dead to rights halfway through first and second, but Eastham had to worry about the runner at third, making sure he wouldn't score, as really home plate was just about unoccupied.
But wow, what a huge play that is from the Royal Blue Dogs defense, stepping up after making a few errors this inning.
And again, this is big here. You got to be able to get out of this inning without giving the Cropdusters the lead. After Evan Heeb has had such an amazing day so far, at least through the first 5 innings. He hasn't struggled too much really here in the 6th. The defense has just not been able to help him out. But a big play right there, maybe able to redeem this defense and get an opportunity to get the go-ahead run back in the top of the 7th.
Pitch low and away. So it'll be a 1-1 count here for Thatcher Kozel.
Yeah, you talk about that off speed. It looked like maybe a little bit of curveball there. I mean, talk to he really likes to work that put away pitch, that changeup. A lot of times inside the lefties. He's got the matchup he wants now.
Good pitch there, catching the line of the plate, so it'll be a 1-2 count here against Kozel Thatcher.
Once again, we talk about so much about how important being able to set up on that outside and getting good framing by your catcher. That one was at least an inch off the plate, but a really good job by Eastham to be able to set himself straight up and get a strike call.
That pitch high. Should be 2-2. If you're Heeb here, you just got to think, you're 2 strikes, you 1 more strike, and you're out of this inning. And I mean, your offense is in a rough spot. They haven't had much success against the Cropduster pitchers. But you can't think of that right now. You got to think about just putting this batter away.
That's a big pitch right now from Heeb. Again, you do have a pitch you can waste here. Again, I'm really thinking change it right now from Heeb.
And just a touch high there for Heeb. It'll be a full count.
And again, just like that earlier at bat up against Dakota Hogan, where he was down 3-0, came back all the way to even it back up and get the payoff pitch 3-2. This is an instance to where you do have a base open at first. You don't got to give too much over the heart of the plate here to Thatcher Kozel.
And it will be a walk. Pitch is low, and Heeb is distraught about that one.
Yeah, he thought he had that perfectly set up on the outer half. I mean, that one, yeah, they're going to talk to him a little bit. That one was more in the zone than about 2 pitches ago. The other fastball that we saw from Heeb. And now a very big spot for Javon Suarez.
We do have action here in the Royal Blue Dogs bullpen. But that's pretty recent, so you don't expect him to go in anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that's partially a reason that we're seeing Coach Guido come out right now to give his righty in the bullpen a little bit more time to be able to work, to see if they'll need him either in the 7th or beyond here in this one, or maybe even here later in this inning. But another big thing is being able to calm down Heeb here. This at-bat right now is huge for Heeb, who has had such a dominant day through the first 5 innings. He has started to struggle here in the 6th, and he really hasn't just gotten anything his way so far in this 6th inning. A couple errors defensively, a couple calls that were back and forth calls, could have went either way that they didn't give him. This is a moment now. The mental toughness for a guy like this is going to be huge to be able to bear down and get out of this inning with just 1 run allowed.
With the bases loaded, how do you attack this next batter? I mean, you can't be too aggressive because if you do end up walking him, that's a free run, but you do have to stay kind of on top of the hitter, don't you?
Yeah, again, I think being aggressive is the better thing to be able to do here right now if you were Evan Heeb. Again, you've been able to work really well with a lot of weak contact. The defense hasn't really been able to help you out, at least in this inning so far, but I think that can't really, really get into your head too much. Being able to attack with that fastball and the different pitches he's been able to use is going to be big for him to try to get out of this inning.
So now with the bases loaded, up comes the 3-spot hitter. It's going to be the third baseman, Jovan Suarez.
I talk about it in the bullpen. Ethan Langfelder out of Iowa Wesleyan is looking to get ready to go in case he struggles any more here in the 6th. It'll be interesting how this next at-bat goes. It could depend if they allow Heeb to go in the 7th or if he'll even get out of here in the 6th.
First pitch in there for a strike. He's heading the count 0-1 against Suarez.
If you're a Heeb right now, you had a long talk, you reset yourself. Really, this is just a resetting type of at-bat right now. It's a tie ball game. Really comes down to just being able to attack the zone and get this hitter out right now.
This one pulled foul. So it'll be 0-2 the count. He's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning.
And again, I really like that pitch sequencing right there. You go, again, outside with the off-speed to start off the at-bat. Then you go another look. I couldn't quite tell if it was a changeup or a fastball, but either way, still a strong pitch on that outer half. And it just barely gets Suarez the chase. And now you're heading the count 0-2, and you can use just about anything right now.
That pitch is in the dirt. Looks like they're not going to call it in the dirt. It'll be a strike 3 swing in there for Jovan Suarez, and what a huge out that is for the pitcher. Heeb coming up in the top of the 7th. We've got Tommy Rowland followed by Richter and Ika Shari. It'll be an interesting final inning of play here at J.J. Isaacson Field in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the Corn Belt League Network. Back here, taking a look at the new pitcher for the Cropdusters. See Logan Davis here, 2/3 of an inning pitched here this season in the Corn Belt League, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, 1 hit by pitch.
That was back on opening day against the Haymakers. Kind of struggled in the back half of that one up against them. Like you mentioned, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and just 2/3 of innings pitched. They take him out after that. And we'll see now the new center fielder in the spot of the left fielder, Tommy Rowland. Now Devin Jones, who we saw pinch running earlier here today.
Jones 1 for 9 on the year. But we've mentioned it before, not the best hitter, but once he gets on the base pass, that's where he does his damage. If he can get on the base pass with either a walk, a hit by pitch, an error, he can definitely outrun anyone on this team.
Again, the bat's going to be the biggest thing to improve for Jones. The agility and defense has been good this season. The speed of the base pass has been good, but how consistently he can get on base is the question mark. And I think that's why he wanted to go here in the Corn Belt League to improve his hitting, especially with a different style of play for him, using a wood bat rather than a metal bat to be able to set himself differently and see how much he can improve this summer.
That pitch is behind. It'll be a 3-1 count coming up for Devin Jones.
And again here, trying to answer back after a run for the Cropdusters in the bottom of the 6th. This is the time to try to get a go-ahead run. And to be able to get the go-ahead runner on in Devin Jones, you're not complaining at all about having the speed like him out there at first base.
And there it is. There's a walk for Devin Jones. He'll be on first base. And if you're Logan Davis, you have to keep an eye on him now.
Again, Davis is going to have a lot of thinking at Jones at first base. This is the time now. Again, if you want to be this guy, you want to be the save type of guy for the Cropdusters. This is a big moment right now. Your starting pitchers for both these teams have had really strong days, being able to keep both teams into it. The bullpen can keep it close and get yourself a win. It gives you a lot more opportunities later throughout this season.
Big cut there from number 31, Richter, the third baseman. Last time up, he had a single, I believe, which was an infield hit.
Yeah, that one actually was in the left field, a line drive with the shortstop. Back-to-back line drives with the shortstop between Richter and Ikarashi. And that was really the first time we saw the Royal Blue Dogs, I guess, put a ton of pressure with a lot of barrels up against the Ventry to start off that one.
Runner goes. Jones will advance to second. Grounding out is Richter to the second baseman, but doing his job advancing the runner and putting speed at second base with the runner in scoring position. You got to think a single here scores Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I said that last time, and I think the commentator's jinx messed me up a little bit. Beautiful line drive out in the right field back in the first inning, but Jones just barely thrown out of the plate. A beautiful throw out in right field by Caleb Horner. But again, a lot of speed out there at second, so it's going to be dangerous if any ball falls in the outfield here for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And you always got to thinking all the way back to that first inning. I believe it was a close play at first base. I think it went just over the glove. That might have been why Jones got a bad jump on that ball, because usually if the ball is hit into the outfield, he will be scoring.
See what Robu Ikarashi can do here. Like you mentioned, did have that hit back in the 5th, which really put a lot of pressure on A.J. Ventry, the starter. But again here, a big spot here for Robu Ikarashi in the bottom of the lineup, hoping to come through once again here for the Blue Dogs.
So with the count at 3-0, got to be expecting something over the plate here from Davis, and instead it's outside. It'll be another walk. So Ikarashi, a 4-pitch walk means runners on first and second.
And now you're going to be questioning a little bit, should you have taken Jack Tilton out of that setup spot, not allowing him to come once again here in the 7th. With just one out here, is an interesting spot for the Cropdusters to see how they can adjust here.
Now batting.
Quick visit to the mound from Potee. And Davis is trying to get his nerves in check here with the batter Killinger up. Sorry, the batter Redding up.
Yeah, the second look for both Redding and George here in the bottom of the order. They saw Ventry, didn't see Tilton, but we'll see Davis now. They've struggled 0 for 4 between the two of them here today, but a big single or any kind of ball in the outfield that can drop for an RBI would be huge for the Royal Blue Dogs and a big must-need win right now to get some momentum back on their side after a struggling start to the season for both these teams.
Pitch just outside.
And again, we talk about that setup right there. You saw Poteet really more set up on the outer half, but not quite set up outside of the zone. So you see his body shifting a little bit more to the outside. You're less likely to get that call on the frame on the outer half.
High fly ball behind the plate for Reading.
We ask that you please turn off foul balls to the first or third base dugout.
Reading 0 for 2 on the day with a ground out and a swinging strikeout. See if we can get a hit on the day here in a huge spot at the bottom of the top of the 7th inning. This one hit towards left field, but it'll be pulled foul. But great contact there from Reading.
A big mistake right there and a big sigh of relief from Logan Davis. An off-speed pitch that was right over the heart of the plate. I can definitely tell you right there, Brennan Redding's eyes just lit up, but a little bit too far in front of that one. Now you got to adjust once again here, and another one too.
Big swing in the dirt, and it'll be an out. Strikeout swinging. That's the second straight strikeout for Reading. It'll bring up the extra hitter, George, in the 10 spot for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And that's really big right there for Logan Davis. Again, you're in a tough spot, 2 runners on. The go-ahead and another insurance run would have been at first base for the Royal Blue Dogs. And understanding that the bottom of the order, who has struggled here today, being able to attack early has been big, and Davis trying to get out of it.
Pitch is behind Poteet, and runners will advance. Jones thought about running home, but instead he'll hold up at third. And now runners on second and third here for the Royal Blue Dogs.
Yeah, Jones was ready to go 180 feet on that one if need be. It was another odd play right there from Poteet. I think he was trying to just glove that one, pick that one in front of him, but that's sometimes those, I wouldn't say lazy, but definitely careless plays right there from Poteet that you got to be able to put your body in front of that one. Definitely at least could have made Jones think about staying at second. Now big spot here from Cuddy George. The entire outfield is in. Infield playing pretty straight up. Let's see what George can do here.
Good cover there from Poteet on the pitch low and away. Do have an open base here at first, so a walk wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but you definitely prefer to get the out here, especially with 2 outs. Put away the side and give yourself a chance for a walk-off here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, I think that was the thinking right there. You're down 3-0. You don't give too much to the hitter in George right now. You accept the walk. Because, I mean, honestly, especially here in a situation like this where the pitching staff has been so consistent throughout today, you don't really care too much about that hitter. You care a lot about the runner at third base. That could be a go-ahead run here for the Royal Blue Dogs. You'd rather give up the walk and get to the next guy in the top of the order here for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And now you got to force out at every base, so it's really not the worst situation in the world here for Davis, but now you just got to put the ball in places where it can't, things like that can't happen. And there's a hit by pitch, and taking a run there is Devin Jones, who reached third on that wild pitch pass ball from Poteet. And that gives the Blue Dogs the lead 2-1 again.
And that is an instance right there where the confidence can be just a devastating one right there. I mean, you set yourself up, you're trying to get out of it, you have 2 outs, you need really 1 pitch to be able to get out of this inning, and you end up hitting the batter and bring up, again, really the heart of this order for the Royal Blue Dogs. That 1 and 2 just gave up the go-ahead run for the Blue Dogs.
So here's Eastham, last time up, grounded into a double play in the 6th inning.
He's been a guy that has had consistent contact. We talked about that really tailor-made double play back in the 6th, really last inning. Now we'll see if he can maybe add a couple more here for the Blue Dogs. This would be huge.
This one hit into the left center gap. The center fielder does get there. That's Copeland making the play. But for the Blue Dogs, the damage is done. 1 run to get them ahead, 2-1. Bottom of the 7th coming up for the Cropdusters. Can they make a comeback? This is Corn Belt League Baseball on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here in the bottom of the 7th, last chance here for the Cropdusters to get something on the board here. And back on the mound is Hebe for the Royal Blue Dogs.
Hebe, 82 pitches in 6 innings of work, 56 of those strikes. That's a 68% strike percentage, and he has had an amazing day. Really, the only blemish was back this past inning in the 6th. It really was more or less his defense not being able to help out. 1 damage done, just a single, and then 2 errors defensively just really hurt him for the only run.
Ground out to the shortstop for the first out, and the Cropdusters are down to their final 2 outs of the game. If they are not able to put anything on the board, they'll fall to 1-4 on the year. But coming up to bat is Ringel, the first baseman.
Now batting.
And again, I think we talked so much about how these two pitching staffs have gone really so quickly. I think another thing here, we talked a lot those first 4 innings, how quickly that game was going. Really, the first 4 innings went about 36 minutes or so. These last 3 innings have taken a lot longer as both these pitching staffs have gotten a little more fatigued. These innings have gone a little bit longer. And now we're really just about the normal amount, just about 2 hours into this one.
Big swing there. Count falls to 0-2.
Now batting for the Cropdusters from Southwestern Community College, number 33, Anthony Comfort.
So we're seeing number 33, Anthony Comfort, up to bat here for the Cropdusters. Pinch hitting in the spot of Ringel. He's got 1 hit on the year. It was a single with 1 RBI as well. Scored 2 runs on the year as well. This one fouled directly back. It'll be 1-2.
Yeah, we'll see if that's a change here for the coaching staff in Jones and Conway for this Cropduster team. Again, you're back through a different piece of your order, and you've had a lot of guys struggle, and maybe seeing a different guy in the middle of the lineup here for the Cropdusters can change something up against Hebe.
And there's a swing and a miss there. So 2 outs for the Royal Blue Dogs. 1 out away from settling the score here as they lead by 1 in the bottom of the 7th.
7 strikeouts on the day, and so far he was able to get out of this one and ended off with his first win of the season for Hebe. What a first 2 outings for Evan Hebe. 16 strikeouts so far in 2 outings.
And up to bat now, Evan Wickham, number 5. This will be his first time up this season. He's ahead in the count 2-0.
Yeah, Wickham in the right field spot for Caleb Horner. Horner's been a guy that's really struggled. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. And this has really been the odd part of the order that Hebe has been able to just dominate so far against the Cropdusters. 5 of his 7 strikeouts have been between Ringel, Horner, as well as Poteet.
I believe most strikeouts in a game this season so far is 9, so we will not see Hebe hit that number.
Another beautiful off-speed right there. I love the way Hebe has been able to pitch so far today. He's been able to work that kind of mentality. I mean, that kind of situation. You know yourself, you're that lefty junk baller guy that can work so many pitches. Can end this one with a big win here.
Pitch is high and inside, so it'll be a full count for Wickham.
You're down to your last strike here for the Cropdusters. This is a big pitch right here from Hebe. Cropdusters, again, trying to get something going here in the last 7th.
And it'll be a walk, so reaching first is Wickham. He was the pinch hitter for Horner.
Yeah, I think we'll see a courtesy runner, a pinch runner here for the Cropdusters as well. Actually, you switch out after pitching. Jack Tilton will go to first, and a little more speed out there at first base. Again, although the momentum really does seem, especially here with 2 outs, to be on the Royal Blue Dogs side. This game's not over yet. It's still a 1-run ball game. And currently nobody up in the bullpen for the Royal Blue Dogs, so as of right now, Coach Guido, as well as the rest of this Royal Blue Dogs coaching staff, is looking to allow Hebe to go the rest of the way.
Now batting, the catcher from West Virginia Wesleyan University, number 9, Thatcher Poteet.
So up to bat now, the catcher, Thatcher Poteet.
We'll see what Poteet can do here. Like you mentioned, 1 for 2 on the day. That single back in the 6th, able to come around and score, was really the biggest offensive start that we've seen the Cropdusters here today. We'll see if they can liven it up here with 2 outs here in the 7th.
With the lead at 2-1, one big hit in this game is over for the Cropdusters. Sorry, one bad hit, I should say, and the game is over, but one good hit, and they win the game, so it'll have to be good pitching here from Hebe to try and put this one away.
Yeah, I think Hebe is thinking a little bit too much about Tilton over there at first base. That's the thing, as well as myself. I mean, I can get really guilty of just looking at the runner a little bit too much, especially with just 2 outs. You got to be able to make sure that you be able to make your looks and keep the runner at first, but also make sure that you're thinking about the batter first and foremost.
We talk about it a lot with righties looking at a third base runner because it's directly in the view path, but with Hebe throwing left-handed, he's looking directly at Tilton at first base. You got to think that's sort of playing into his mind a little bit as he's trying to get this last out. This is a 3-0 count here.
As again, we talked about being able to bear down and get back in counts. It's a big count right here for Hebe to try to work his way back into.
It'll be a 4-pitch walk here for Hebe. He's lost a little bit of that strike-to-ball ratio that we saw earlier on in this game. It'll be runners on first and second for the Cropdusters here.
Yeah, we're going to see another change here for another little bit more of speed, which would be the winning run out there at first base. Looks like it'll be number 36, Cade Owens, once again, who we saw pinch running earlier on. We'll see Coach Guido come out to Evan Hebe. We'll see if they leave him in. Maybe just want to talk to him a little bit to how to approach the next hitter here in Blake Peabody.
Peabody 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to second. We were going to say that a lot, grounding out to second. It's been a pretty busy day for Ikarashi there in the 4 spot, as well as a sack bunt today for Peabody. That was crucial in scoring the only run that the Cropdusters have scored today.
Yeah, Peabody talking to his coach next to him, really what they want to do here, what they can do here with 2 outs, as Evan Hebe trying to get out of this game with a win. This would be huge for him. With how dominant he's been able to be today. Again, haven't quite seen the command as much here in the 6th and 7th, nor as much the speed, but he's trying to be able to work and minimize these past 2 innings and get out of here with a win. But Peabody here, and to start able to get something going back in the 6th for the only run of the day for the Cropdusters, could be in a situation here to win it here in the bottom of the 7th.
Good first pitch in there for a strike. That was one of the keys for Hebe. As Jaden talked to him pregame, just the first pitch strike, getting ahead in the count early, really just sets the tone for the rest of the at-bat.
And again, when you're able to do that, especially even when you're fatigued, as that was Hebe's 100th pitch of the day, that can just help you along a lot later in at-bats.
This one grounded to the shortstop. And a play will be made at first. That will be the game. The final out. It goes 6-3. And the Royal Blue Dogs win this one 2-1. 4 hits and 2 errors for the Royal Blue Dogs. 2 hits and 3 errors for the Cropdusters. And that was really the reason why the Royal Blue Dogs scored so many runs.
They get 5 errors between these two teams, just 6 hits, and a lot of the small mistakes really what hurt both of these teams in giving up the runs they did, but a really great job by Evan Hebe bearing down, getting out of this. Again, not the strongest of innings in those 6th and 7ths for Evan Hebe, but that's the mentality you got to have. When you're struggling a little bit, you got to be able to find a way to adjust, and Hebe did. And be able to go to a complete game, 2 hit, 1 earned game for him is just huge, especially being his 2nd outing of the year on such a hot day like this.
And I think that's part of the reason why Coach Guido left him out there, just really test his mental toughness to see if he had that ace mentality. I mean, he pitched a great first 5 innings, but fell apart a little bit in that 6th inning, giving up that run there to the Cropdusters. But I believe it is a great move there from Coach Guido, letting Hebe finish the game and finish it out. Albeit a little bit scarily. There were runners on first and second for the Cropdusters, but he gets the job done for the Royal Blue Dogs. It'll be 2-1 victory against the Cropdusters, pushing the Royal Blue Dogs to 2-3. A huge early win in the 2nd week of the season.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Royal Blue Dogs needed. Again, 2 teams that came into this one struggling to start off the year, and then it really picked me up right there from Evan Hebe, your ace, the guy you've been so consistent on, even so far just early on in this season. It's a really good win for them, and being able to maybe flip some things and flip some fortunes going into the 2nd week.
We'll see how the Royal Blue Dogs attack the rest of their games. How do you think the Cropdusters are going to react to this one? A 2-1 loss, a close loss, but your offense really couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, I think that's been the biggest question mark for the Cropdusters this season has been the offense. I mean, they haven't been able to score consistent runs. They haven't been able to score needed runs in big moments. We saw that here today. They had a couple opportunities with runners in scoring position, just weren't able to do it. And the Cropdusters just got to figure a way to find that offensive charm to be able to work these next couple of weeks.
We'll take a quick break here, have some more post-game thoughts here from the 2-1 Royal Blue Dogs win at J.J. Isaacson Field here at Seymour Smith Park in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the Corn Belt League Network.
No matter what your age, skill level, or position, your baseball season begins at the Strike Zone. Featuring state-of-the-art batting cages, group and private instruction, the Strike Zone provides athletes all the training and equipment you need to get your game to the next level. Give the gift of development to your baseball or softball player. Purchase your Strike Zone gift cards today. Baseball never ends at the Strike Zone. No matter what your age, skill level, or position, your baseball season begins at the Strike Zone. Featuring state-of-the-art batting cages, group and private instruction, the Strike Zone provides athletes all the training and equipment you need to get your game to the next level. Give the gift of development to your baseball or softball player. Purchase your Strike Zone gift cards today. Baseball never ends at the Strike Zone.
Back here, the final at J.J. Isaacson Field. The Royal Blue Dogs escape a nail-biter 2-1, the final. And I am here with our player of the game, the winning pitcher tonight for the Royal Blue Dogs, Evan Heeb. I mean, you had 7 innings pitched, your second outing of the season, 7 Ks, 3 walks, a hit by pitch, 101 innings pitched here today. Pitches thrown here today. We talked about it. You were really trying to just get through that last inning. How was that last inning, trying to get out of that one for you?
Yeah, to say I was gassed was an understatement. It's pretty humid out here. Arizona is more of a dry heat, so it's a little bit of something to get used to, but I left it all out there, emptied the tank because I knew that was my game to finish.
Yeah, second time throughout this season that we've seen you, and I think we've really seen you establish yourself as the ace here for the Royal Blue Dogs. What's it like being able to have that mentality for you?
It's good to know that the guys believe in me, and they believe that I can go out there every 4th or 5th day and shut a team down, and it's an honor, really.
All right, so with this team overall, I mean, we see 2 comparatively struggling teams to start off this season, both teams 1-3. What do you feel like was for you to be able to get this win for your guys and maybe flip some fortunes going into next week?
I mean, I think it was a big morale booster coming off of our win the other day, and Guido coming back from the hospital. We wanted to play for him and show up for him, and we got a lot of confidence in the dugout. We feel that we got a lot of good players, and it's going to show.
All right, so going into this next week, what's the mentality for you, and what's the mentality for the rest of this group?
For me, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, getting ahead early in the counts, and trying to get off the field as soon as possible. And I think my other pitchers can attest to that as well. And for the hitting side of things, I think we just want to create some chaos out in the field.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Player of the game here today, Evan Heeb. A win here for the Royal Blue Dogs in our 5 p.m. matchup. We'll take a quick break. Once we come back, we'll be on another stream here on the Corn Belt League YouTube channel for our nightcap here at J.J. Isaacson Field. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back shortly.